A month ago, my best friend Julia shattered both her arms in a freak accident. She slipped while carrying a heavy mirror down the stair street to break the fall with her hands, but the impact snapped both wrists. Just like that, she was completely helpless. Her boyfriend, Adam, stepped up in ways no one expected. He washed her hair, dressed her, brushed her teeth, even handled the most intimate tasks, bathing her, shaving her legs, helping her with the bathroom. It was intense, and Julia, ever the independent one, hated it. But there was one thing that really stressed her out: tampons. She dreaded asking Adam for help with something so personal, but there was no way around it. She planned to sit him down, explain it as delicately as possible, and hope he didn't freak out. She never got the chance, because before that conversation could happen, she found out she was pregnant. At first she thought, well, guess that solves that problem. But then reality hit. She and Adam never had sex without protection, ever. So whose baby was it? Julia spiraled. She started replaying every moment, searching for a rational explanation. Had a condom failed? Did she miscalculate her cycle? But no, it didn't add up. She wasn't just pregnant. She was already almost 2 months along. And then the real horror set in, because 2 months ago, Adam was out of town for work. And that's when things started unraveling. Julia confronted Adam immediately. She expected him to be confused, maybe even angry. But his reaction? He laughed. Like full-on laughed in her face. "Oh, babe," he chuckled, shaking his head. "I was wondering when you'd figure it out." Her stomach dropped. "Figure what out?" He leaned back in his chair, completely unbothered. "You really think I've been taking care of you just because I'm a good boyfriend?" And that's when he told her everything. Adam had known about the pregnancy before she did, and not because she had cheated. No, Julia never cheated. Adam had been secretly messing with her birth control. He admitted it casually, like he was talking about the weather. Said he started poking holes in condoms months ago because he wanted to make sure she'd never leave him. Then, when that didn't work fast enough, he switched out her birth control pills with vitamins. And the worst part? He actually seemed proud of it. Julia sat there, both arms in casts, unable to move, fight, or even run away. She was trapped emotionally and physically by a man who had deliberately violated her body, her trust, and her future. "I did it for us," he said, smiling. "Now, you have to stay." Julia played along. She acted like she understood, like she just needed time to process everything. And for a while, Adam believed it. For 2 weeks, she smiled when he talked about their family. She let him feed her, bathe her, even rub her belly like some sick, possessive ritual. But inside, she was planning. The day her casts were removed, Julia went to the hospital for a checkup. Instead, she went straight to the police. She handed over everything: her medical records, the tampered birth control, even texts where Adam had joked about how much he wanted a baby. Adam was arrested that night. Turns out, what he did is called reproductive coercion, and in our state, it's a felony. Julia left town the next morning, changed her number, blocked him on everything. She's staying with her older brother now, figuring out what to do next. As for the pregnancy, she's keeping the baby. Not because of Adam's screw-a-dambit, because she's strong enough to raise this child on her terms. And Adam? He's rotting in jail where he belongs. I will be very grateful if you subscribe to our channel. I was beyond excited for this date. It had been a while since I met someone I actually clicked with. He was charming, funny, and didn't immediately make me want to fake an emergency phone call, so already a win. I invited him over to watch a movie. Keep things casual. No pressure, just a chill night with popcorn, Netflix, and hopefully some sparks. Everything was going great until I went to the kitchen to grab some snacks. Now, let me explain something about myself. I was raised in a household where asking for help was basically illegal. My mom could carry 17 grocery bags at once and still have a hand free to unlock the door. So, naturally, when it came to grabbing the snacks, I refused to make 2 trips. I stacked everything: the popcorn bowl, drinks, a plate of nachos, a random jar of salsa. I probably didn't even needle perfectly balanced in my arms. A true engineering feat. As I turned to leave the kitchen, I noticed the upper cabinet was slightly open, and without thinking, I did what I always do: I kicked it shut. Yeah, I roundhouse kicked my own cabinet, perfectly closing it like I was in a damn action movie. And that's when I noticed him, standing in the doorway, watching. His eyes flicked from the cabinet to me, then back to the cabinet, then back to me. He just stood there, completely silent, like he had just walked into a parallel universe where people use their feet for basic household tasks. Finally, after an eternity, he goes, "So, where exactly did you say you work again?" I laughed it off, pretending like this was a totally normal way to close things in my house. I mean, doesn't everyone use their feet like an extra set of hands? But he was still looking at me like I had just defied physics. And that's when things took a turn. We sit down, start the movie, and maybe 20 minutes in, I catch him staring at my feet. Not in a wow, cute toes kind of way. More like he was processing an existential crisis. Finally, he blurts out, "Be honest with me. Are you, like, secretly a spy?" I burst out laughing, but he wasn't joking. This man was dead serious. I tried to assure him that no, I am not, in fact, a highly trained assassin. But instead of dropping it, he starts interrogating me. "How did you do that so fast? Like, the precision have you trained for that? Have you ever broken into anywhere? Wait, how do you open doors? Do you just..." Gestures to his foot like an idiot. At this point, I think he's just messing with me, so I decide to mess back. I lean in dramatically and whisper, "I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you." Bad idea. His eyes widen, and then he actually scoots away from me, like I'm about to pull out a classified file and take him out. I'm laughing so hard at this point, but he looks like he's running through every life choice that led him here, and just when I think this night cannot possibly get weirder, I hear it. A thud. From the kitchen. We both freeze. I know for a fact we're alone in the apartment, but that was a distinct sound. A sound that should not be happening. I glance at him, and now he's the one laughing nervously. "Is this part of the training?" he whispers. "Sir," I grab the nearest weapon, which, unfortunately, is just the jar of salsa, in hand, slowly step toward the kitchen. My heart is pounding. I peek inside. And that's when I see it. The cabinet. The same one I kicked shut. It's open. I swear I shut it completely. There was no way it just swung back open. My date is behind me now, whispering, "I knew it. You're a spy. I should be focusing on the real problem here, the fact that my apartment might be haunted, but instead, all I can think is, this is officially the weirdest first date of my life." So yeah, that's the story of how I accidentally convinced my date I was a government-trained assassin with telekinetic abilities and a haunted apartment. Did we have a second date? Yes. Because apparently, he was into it.